Hello, I brought you here today to discuss your experiences growing up in an individualistic and collectivist society. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Isa. I'm a fourth year psychology major. I grew up in the Philippines, so I lived there for like half of my life, and then I moved to U.S. half of my life as well.
Of course. I'm Henry Schuett. I grew up in Edgewood, New Mexico. I just started college at UNM. I'm studying electrical engineering. That's me.
Isa, would you mind explaining the impact of growing up in a collectivist society?
Filipinos are known for their hospitality and generosity. They consider every Filipino to be their family, and this makes them help each other during tough times. This makes us family-oriented people because of how strongly we value our bond, and this influences all members to continue the family legacy. This makes us nurturing to any Filipinos around us because everyone has similarities on life difficulties. For example, many Filipino parents would most likely ask their other relatives or neighbors to take care of their own children if ever they are in need of a babysitter. However, collective mindset can have consequences upon Filipinos. Since everyone tends to know everyone's business, they try to include themselves in everyone's lives. This could lead to many gossiping and also pressure upon maintaining the family's reputation. Many families tend to show other families how well they're doing, especially with their children's achievements. This turns into competition between all the children.
Henry, how about you? What impact do you think growing up and currently living in an individualistic society had on you?
Well, I think growing up in kind of an individualistic society has made me more, conscious of what I do myself. It makes me more competitive, I guess, against my peers. And that's kind of my definition of seeing yourself get better is just if you're getting better compared to your peers, compared to like just self-improvement. I may like improve on something. For example, I do guitar, and there'll be a lot of new songs and new techniques that I'll like learn by myself, but I don't necessarily consider that like getting better until I see how that stacks up against the people who are also playing like at my age, or I guess that were at my skill level before, and I won't see it as improvement until I see how I stack up against them, which really shows you, just how much of being an individual is. And I don't know, even being in like group settings, I'm a part of a fraternity, but even that's a little like hard to say that it's like group based. Like it is, but a lot of the reasons we have success with things like fundraising or with like brotherhood events, like fun events that we do, is just when we're trying to compete with each other to like see who can raise the most money or do the best in whatever event we're trying to do. And that's how individualism affects me.
Isa, since you grew up in the Philippines and now live in the States, what differences do you see concerning the cultural mindsets?
So for me, when I grew up in the Philippines, we're known to like work towards an achievement for our families. We depended on their decision of what's best for us. So that kind of leads us to picking anything medical or engineering, which majority of us don't even get to do because that's not our passion. But in the difference of America, when I came here, everyone, like guidance counselors, teachers would be like, follow your dream, follow your passion. And then my parents would be like, no, follow what we want for you. We want you to live our dream, not your dream. And I think that's the difference of collectivity and like individualistic, because individualism is kind of more like you do what you want. But in Filipino community, it's not really what we're expected to do because we are known to help our families until we die, literally. We give them money, we provide anything that the whole family can't provide in the past, so it's like expected for you to like take care of the family until they all die as well. And continue that legacy as well. In America, that's not expected of you. You do what you want, live your life, and the difference is majority of the time children forget their parents, their grandparents, their cousins. They lose contact with their families compared to Filipinos. We stay in contact with our families.
What mindset do you see yourself taking on as an individual, and what examples can you give for these mindsets?
I see the mindset that I take on is that I still care about the group per se, but I care about it in a way that I need to make myself better, so that way overall the group improves. So the terminology that, you know, your group is only as good as your weakest link, that's kind of the mentality that I would take on. It would be that if you can be as strong as possible and encourage others to also be as strong as they possibly can, then overall the group's going to be the best that they possibly can.
I have both mindsets at the moment because since I grew up in the Philippines, I'm really used to like helping each other out. Like if you need help, I got you kind of thing, because like my parents has always been that way with their friends and like their own families. I probably would have kind of dropped the idea of you gotta follow other people's dream for you to be happy. Like you gotta be financially stable all the time and have a lot of money. I probably would drop that. Now I'm kind of like doing more of a collective mindset of like now I'm kind of doing like balance of collectivity and individualism, where I want to do what I want, but I want to help other people in a way that benefits me and them, not just them benefiting. So like I feel like I've learned to also make myself happy and not just depend my happiness on other people's hands.
Do you think in a way that there could be a country that is strictly individualistic or has a collectivist mindset, or do you think that they can intertwine at times?
I feel like it can intertwine because in a way like contentment and happiness won't really be fulfilled if you don't do what makes you happy and makes other people happy at the same time, because you can do your dream without hurting other people. You can still help people while doing your own passion. So I would say that.
Do you think that there are countries that are strictly individualistic or collectivist, or do you think that they can also overlap and intertwine?
Well, I'm not too sure, but I would say in my knowledge, as far as the United States, that we're not like strictly individualist, and we're not strictly, I guess, community based by any means. But it's that individuals make themselves stronger, and then roles that need to be filled will be filled by either those who are good at those positions, or those that find interest in these positions, or just those that are looking for something and happen to fall into those positions. Either way, it's a bunch of working on yourself towards something, but it's all eventually going to come together as a community-based kind of thing, based on where things are needed.
What do you like and dislike about these two different cultures and philosophies?
For the individualistic mindset, I would say just the fact that like a lot of children, or in general, they forget their own families and they don't contact them anymore. I feel like a lot of people tend to like live away from their families, I guess, because they don't want to be near them. But like for me, I've always wanted to be living near my parents because I'm always like really close to them, and I can't imagine like not staying in contact, not knowing what they are doing with their lives and how they're doing. I feel like I'm so used to seeing my parents all the time that a lot of like students or like my friends that are not Filipinos don't understand why I live with my parents till to this day. It's because I want to spend time with them as much as possible because they're getting older. I think that's one thing, because a lot of individualistic people kind of like forget their own families and they make their own life in the world. But I guess in a way it's a good thing. For me, I just like want to stay in contact with a lot of my loved ones. Well, collective mindset, I would say like the gossiping and the pressure of having to be perfect around the people that are the same as you. Like Filipinos put this pressure to all children and their families to be like this perfect family, that like we have everything, we have good children, like successful children. And it's that like maintaining that reputation of being the best, which is annoying because like some kids want to do their own thing, you know? And I feel like not every time you're gonna get that expectation. I'd say that.
Well, as far as individualism, I really think it's it's strong for developing like what people want to develop, which in the end will make them stronger. If you're doing something that you actually enjoy doing, then overall you're gonna pursue that more and eventually probably get better at it than say up here that's not interested but just doing it because they have to or something. However, the downside of that is sometimes there'll be positions that aren't getting filled that are needed to be filled, but they can't because nobody wants to do them. For example, nobody wants to clean the manure out of like some farmer's backyard, but it has to be done. So sometimes there'll be like shortages and things like that, and if it's just left there, then things are going to start going wrong. Whereas with in a community-based system, collectivism, I would say that jobs are getting filled where they need to be, but it doesn't always lead to the best potential of the people because they're filled as in they need to be. It's something that this has to be done, so you're going to do it no matter what. Because if you don't, then things are just gonna go wrong. But it's not going to inspire people enough to do their full potential compared to individualism.
Finally, would you change the culture of the society you grew up in?
Well, my motto is you can't change anyone. You can only change yourself. So in a way, I would just say that I want to do my own thing, and if people don't like that, that's okay. I would probably reduce all the gossiping and having to maintain the reputation of being the best of the best. Because in a way, both will be good together. I don't really want to change how I grew up. Because, it kind of made me who I am today. And it made me, a strong person who helps people but also helps herself. And know her limits and boundaries. I feel like individualism kind of taught me how to, create that boundary between my parents, my friends, and myself, too. Because, I don't want to I don't want to burn myself out for helping people all the time just because it makes them happy. But I also want to help people because that's just part of who I am, I would say. So no, I wouldn't change anything, but I would change myself for it.
No, I think individualism has really shaped me into the competitive person that I am today, and that makes me, a competitor in my career field or what I'm trying to go for. And has helped me get me into the place I am with scholarships or programs that I'm in or with the fraternity that I'm in. It just really shapes that, I can do what I want to do, and that makes me a stronger skill. It gives me a stronger skill set than what I would have if I was just given a job or working on something that maybe I wouldn't be as passionate about as I am in this society.
Thank you for allowing me to interview you. Do you have any closing remarks?
No.
Well, thank you for interviewing me. I would say do what you want to do in life and be happy as long as you don't hurt other people. And be willing to be generous as well. Period.
Anyways, more about Nuevo Mexico. It's kind of dry, but I like it. I have this friend named Connor.
Connor, come here. Introduce yourself.
This is Sheena. I've never met her before.
No, I don't know who you are or why you're in my door.
Hi, my name is Isa.
Oh no. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Stop staring at me, guys. I'll trauma dump on this one. Okay.